Hi, my name is Rae Johnson, and I am the president and founder of the NSUJL. The NSUJL is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting families of fallen and injured power line workers. We were founded in 2012, a little bit of a grassroots operation for sure. Towards the end of 2011, there seemed to be quite a few accidents, and a bunch of us in a Line Wives group on Facebook, no less, decided we were going to get together and try to raise funds for the family. And in doing so, went researching families to, or a nonprofit to donate the money to. Shockingly, there wasn't one at the time, so it was one of those moments where we were going to let a really good idea go, or we were going to go for it. So we went for it. Now, fast forward 8 years later, we've helped over 200 families with over $600,000 in assistance. Throughout the years of aiding these families, whether it be in the circumstance that the lineman was killed or severely injured, one of the pleas from the widows along the way is that their loss is not forgotten, that they want everyone to be safe and they don't want anybody to have to go through what they went through. So that moves us to current time. About 3 to 4 years ago, we started looking for property. We drove all around, searched, looked at hundreds of properties probably, but none seemed quite right until we came across a piece of land in earlier this year in January. So we went to the property and it was laid out perfectly. The right amount of woods with the right amount of land, open, clear land, which would allow for us to not have to clear and still have a lot of nice trees, and it was perfect. So the board decided to proceed with the purchase, in which we did in March. 3 hours after I walked out of closing, though, the governor shut the state down with a stay-at-home order. So that put everything we had on plan, in the works, such as the survey and so on and so forth, on hold. Fast forward, in June, we receive a call from a PPL lineman, Kyle Everett, who just so happens to be doing a job at the time outside of the property, and said, "Hey, do you guys need any help over there? Like with cleanup or anything like that?" And I was like, yes. This property was an absolute nightmare. Even when we went to go see it in January, it's one of those things where you had to see beyond the rubble and look at the land for what it was, because the average person would have looked at that and been like, no way. It needed a lot of help. So I found this video. Screen share. Let's see here. So I forgot how to do this. Bear with me. Screen share. Okay. Share. Okay. Perfect. All right, good. So I found this video. This gives you an aerial view. I also have obviously on-ground pictures as well, but this gives you a good aerial view of what you can see is just trailers and trash and cars, and that nice mow grass is not it. It's the high grass on this side. There's the woods. The woods are down in the bottom right there. That's the barn that we had to tear down. All those cars are ours, were ours. There's the 2 trailers. There's just trash everywhere. So, let me close that. We gladly accepted Kyle's help, or Kyle's offer of help, because it was a lot of work. We were out there for 2 months almost consistently every day on weekends. There was just, the trash was just scattered throughout. Trash and like just scrap and I don't even know. So let me show you some pictures. I'm learning with you here, so bear with me. So here's one of the vehicles we inherited. There was just stuff like this. You see the pallets, they use that for fencing. The grass was so high. This was a camper that they filled with trash. Literally. This was the day we closed. We went out and strung caution tape. So this is the day Kyle and his buddies come. He brought a bunch of guys from PP&L. That's Rec off to the left. There's Kyle. On the right behind him is Greg. I think that's Gordy. I think Jeremy was mowing the grass that day. First day. Because we had to, the grass was so high, as you could see, it was literally up to your hips. We had to get through it to see where we were at. And we uncovered so much even more. I don't know what that was. So here they're starting to take down all the fencing that was around that old barn. You can kind of see where the old barn is still. Here. And you can see them starting to take and wrap up all the fencing. PPL to the rescue. Here there we are tearing down the barn. Because they're local, some of those guys that were coming, they were they know people in the area, so they were able to get us like hooked up with a local guy that would come get the cars, local guy for the containers, good stuff like that. The container was delivered. Then we had to rent an excavator to take the trailers down. It was horrible. You can see it's starting to clear out. This was the day Jeremy started the trailers. Demo was fun. There's Kyle and Jeremy in that picture. Oh, yeah, it was trash. There's Kyle in the gray shirt and Jeremy in the blue one, assessing what we needed to do. And then my husband, Tom Johnson, that's my little boy, wrapped it up. He let him work the truck one day. So this is where those trailers and all those cars were sitting. You can see still some of them back off to the left that weren't picked up yet. This is where that camper used to sit. The camper that was filled with trash. This is where it was. This was the old road. That's bad lighting, but here Kyle and Jeremy are fixing the road, getting it ready for climbing for Lost Linemen. That was the day the boys came out to set the poles for the climb, for climbing for Lost Linemen. Fun. There's a story. So, we called the week before the climb to turn the meter on because we need to run a little bit of power for like the beer tent and the DJ and stuff like that. So we called PP&L, and apparently if your meter's been out of service, for over a year, you have to then have it inspected. So we could get the meter up to code. It was missing a few things from whenever, they had it put in service, but the issue was the inspector. Usually those things take time, I imagine, and we needed power like the next week. So I called our friends at 163, IBW Local 163 in Wilkes-Barre, and I talked to John, and I asked him, like, how do these things work? And I don't know the slightest thing about having a meter inspected or anything like that. So he said, hang on, let me make a couple calls, I'll call you back. The next day, he had an inspector there with Arc Electric out of Hazleton to inspect the meter. We got the cut card, boys threw it in. Save the day. There's Herbner. That's a local contractor that's been helping us with some stone and stuff like that. They've been super nice. Little local contractor. Here's the day the guys came out to hang the banners. For the climb. Very nice. PPL's been great about this whole thing. The guys that work there, I mean, beyond Kyle and Jeremy and Chris and Gordon, there's guys that have come from Wilkes-Barre, from Hamlin, from Hawley, from all of Whitehaven Service Center has been there at one point or the other. Anytime they donate means so much, and they've donated a lot of time. Here's actually the morning of the climb. We're getting the rest of what was left over. That's Jeremy and the excavator. Then MJ came to help us with what was left of the trailers and get them cut up. Here's the final preparations for the climb. What a difference, right? And here's the climb. Every lantern, 9 of those lanterns represent brothers that were killed on the job, and then we allow for honoree forms to be mailed in for brothers or sisters that died for any reason. That's where the trailers stood. And all that trash. Look how clean and nice and beautiful. Thanks to those guys, I'll tell you, I don't know. Yeah, here was the other day. This is the most recent pictures. Because we actually staked out, Zoom keeps playing weird things. So we actually staked out where the building's gonna go, as you can see. And then here's the drive. They made so pretty. And then there's the, if you're looking towards the side, this way is going to be basically where the rodeo is going to take place. And then in this area is going to be all the memorial. And then that way is going to be the parking area. And then if you're standing at the parking area looking towards the front of the property, this is, we also hope to get some camper spots along that side. That's the old road starting to grow grass. So, but yeah, we've received 20 donations so far for the memorial. It's going to just be beautiful. The memorial is so important for so many reasons, mostly so that the guys aren't forgotten. And we're answering the pleas from the families. You know, these guys, they're out in the worst of weather, fighting unimaginable conditions sometimes, in the freezing cold and the sweltering of heat, much like what's happening now with Hurricane Laura down there in Texas and Louisiana, sleeping in trailers, being fed rations of food, and they do it. They don't blink an eye. They don't think about it. It's just a service that they do. And some of them don't make it home. And it's sad. And the families are forever, you know, they're just forever changed because of those losses. So just like Climbing for Lost Linemen, which is a ceremony, like I said, we hold every year, where we honor brothers that were killed from June to June, and then honorary forms can be mailed in. You know, what doesn't seem like it would be a whole lot to everybody, those lanterns, when they're sent home to their families, are cherished. It means so much to those people. And the memorial, you know, I can't imagine is going to be any different, except it's a permanent. And that's what we're going for, is a more permanent solution. Because although the climb is wonderful, but the lanterns do go home. It's not a permanent thing. So the memorial is going to do more of a permanent honoring of brothers that are so deserving and families that are so deserving. So we're about a third of the way funded now. We're creeping towards 50%. So I wanted to get this video together to kind of answer any questions you might have, or questions that we've come across even so far with some of the donation levels and things like that. So we have larger opportunities and smaller opportunities. The larger opportunities start at $5,000. That's the copper sponsorship. That is for the waterfall. Let me see if I can, hold on, pull it up here quick. So I can talk to you and explain this at the same time. Okay. So there's a waterfall back here, water feature. It does have alignment on it. That's the $5,000 sponsorship level. The plaques will sit around that. The bronze is for a pole. We only allow one sponsor per pole. There is a little bit of a design change. These show as if the names are inscribed directly on the pole. We have decided to change that a little and go with a standoff, and then put like a marble plaque on a standoff from the pole. So that's where that is. The silver sponsorship is for the pavilions. We will have 3 of those. The gold is to help us with the office building, which honestly isn't going to be much because we're just an office and we don't need much. heat in 4 walls works. So that's to help us with the office. And then the platinum kind of helps us with everything. That's the large level. It's the $50,000 level. That helps us with everything on the property, and also gets a position on the sign out front, which is on 940. So those are the larger levels. Our smaller opportunities start at $100 for pavers. For the pavers, we're looking to put them where essentially the gravel is shown here. They will go towards the memorial. And then we have opportunities to help us with the landscaping, the trees, picnic benches for underneath the pavilions, park benches for around the water feature, as you can see, and then just all sorts of other miscellaneous things that we can get help with. We're hoping to become 100% funded by the end of the year, and in doing so, we would then have our opening ceremony June 17th, 2021. Of course, that's pending COVID and all that happy stuff, but tentatively, we will set the memorial polls on the 16th of June. The opening ceremony would be the 17th of June. Climbing Floss Lineman would take place Friday night, which is the 18th of June. And then the rodeo is the 19th of June. One other thing that's kind of neat about the Poconos in the area we're in is the Poconos themselves just have a lot to offer. They're known for whitewater rafting, hiking, fishing, some of the best hunting. We have NASCAR real close, which actually the weekend after is the race weekend. There's resorts, there's quaint little towns, there's all kinds of fun shopping and antiques. Very historical, there's a lot to go and see. And then, of course, we're closer to major airports now than we were in Clearfield. Clearfield was great for holding the rodeo and stuff like that. But we're closer to Avoca, AVP, which is only about a half hour away. And then if you wanted to get fancy, you could always go to Philadelphia or JFK, LaGuardia, whatever, New York City, or my favorite, I actually prefer Newark, New Jersey. I like the big circle of the airport, but that's just me. So it's a better located. The Poconos are right here. Freeland, Pennsylvania has nothing. You won't find a thing in Freeland, PA. We have one stoplight and there's $2 stores. Like, there's literally nothing in Freeland. But like I said, a couple miles the other direction are some really nice resorts. And of course, in the winter, because it is the Poconos, we do have the skiing and snowboarding and all that great stuff. So that's pretty fun. I want to thank everyone that's supported us so far and donated towards the memorial. Today, we have 20 sponsors officially as of today for the memorial. So it's meant a lot to us. It's meant a lot to the families. I mean, the families are just coming out now and contacting us and so appreciative and so happy, and you know, they can't wait to see it and they can't wait to come, and it's so special. Being a part of this is so special. I say that every day I wake up, like I pinch myself, am I really a part of this? Is this really happening? And so if you've received a letter from me or somebody shared the link to this with you and wanted you to check it out, thank you for coming, and thanks for hearing me out. And let me know if there's any questions. I'm always available at rae@nsujl.org is my email. And then, of course, my phone number is 570-550-2978. Again, it's 570-550-2978. Thank you. Really, everybody. Any of you that have had any sort of involvement with NSUJL over the years, whether you've donated or bought a shirt or became a member, volunteered at a booth, or, you know, became a sponsor or sent us gifts to use for basket raffles or any of those things, like, thank you, really. It's been an honor to be a part of this brotherhood and to be a part of NSUJL and around so many just amazing, amazing people. We are really, you know, the Line community is an amazing thing. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope I helped explain kind of like where we're at and where we're headed. Call me if you need anything at all, okay? I don't know. How are you supposed to end these things? I'm still getting used to this, so bear with me. Bye-bye.